friends, welcome to Cross My Stitches. My name is Jackie and this is a special episode of Cross My Stitches. We're going to be talking about how I manage my floss. That's the best way to put it. For many years, I have been stitching since 1982. So I started stitching when I was 17, 18, and I was looking for crafts and stuff to do. I did lots of different crafts when I was very young, and I stumbled upon a cross stitch in a store called, I think it was called the Rag Shop. I don't know if you guys remember that. I was in Florida, but they sold all sorts of craft supplies and stuff. And then there was Frank's Nursery, which you would think was a nursery for plants and stuff, but it actually had half of a nursery and half of a craft store. And I loved it in those two stores. They had lots of craft supplies. I would find different things and beading and other things. And then I ran across cross stitch. And once I started doing it, I was fully hooked on it from that moment on. And I did it all the way up until my son was born in 2000. So when 2000 came and my son was born, I really wanted to take pictures. I was a photographer. I love photography. And I really got into doing the photo shoots with him every month when as he was growing. And then what am I going to do with these pictures? I started scrapbooking, got into paper crafting, and my cross stitch took a hiatus for the longest time until my son was at that age where he didn't want his picture taken anymore. He'd make funny faces and do things to make it so I couldn't take pictures. So I stumbled across an old cross stitch pattern that was actually in this bag from the 80s, and that's all cross stitched across there. And I opened it up and I found it, and I said, I want to finish this. So that's what I did and started my love all over again. And for the longest time, I bobbinated everything. Everything was on a bobbin, in the bobbin boxes, and it worked just fine. You know, it was compact, it kept everything together. It was a great system. But in the last couple of years, I've come to realize I was really aggravated. I don't know if that's a good word, but that's what I'm going to call it. By having to unwind a bobbin, pull the threads off, wind it back on, off and on and off and on, every time you changed colors and stuff, because you didn't want to mix up because the shades were so close. It was hard to keep track of all that. And I'm sorry if you hear the dog. Oscar, the little puppy, he is howling because I am in here talking and he's out there in his playpen. So if you hear him, I apologize. But just that process, we didn't have thread beds or anything, and I don't know why we didn't think about that sooner, but it was just irritating to me. And then we started getting into fancy floss. And of course, fancy floss is all on card holders. So then you were dealing with some of your stuff was on a card holder, some of your stuff is on bobbins, and you're going back and forth and all this. And then I just decided, I'm going to change. I'm going to put everything on thread holders. And I'm going to sneeze, so I apologize. Sorry. The sun makes me sneeze, and it's coming in the window, so it'll make me sneeze. So I decided I was going to unbobinate everything, put it on thread holders, and everything was going to be on a ring together. And it's easy to pull on and pull off, but it does make it a little more difficult as far as storage. Now for me, I have 2 curtain rods in my room. This is one of them that has all my fancy floss on it, and then I have my other DMC one is next to me here, and the window is next to it. So it never hits sunlight. It's over here away from the sun. The sun never hits this side either. So I feel like it's safe where it's at. I know people would talk about what about all the dust and flying stuff in the air and it landing on it and stuff and getting dusty. If I was overly concerned with that, then I would take just a piece of fabric and lay it over it to protect it, and I could do that. But I'm not worried about it at this point, so I don't bother with that. But I decided to put everything on thread holders. Some people call it floss drop thread holders, thread cards. And I like to make my own. So this is for one of the sets that, you know, I made, and they're just scrapbook paper. And I have a tutorial in my playlist how to make your own. It's just a matter of punches. So this is a little tag punch and 2 hole punches, and you're off and running. And I use scrapbook paper, pretty scrapbook paper. And then I also punch a piece out of cardstock and I glue them together. So it's nice and firm. I feel like it's more sturdier that way. But going back, so this is the way I like it now. It works for me. I will tell you how I store them on here because I don't want to mix my full, when I'm done, okay, so when I'm done working on my project, I have to put my floss away. My master set, which is over here, I don't want the little straggler pieces going to my master set. And I used to do that. I used to move everything to my master set. And then when I needed that color again, I made sure I took the little extra threads that are not 6 to a strand and then take more of what I needed to do a project. But then I decided I didn't want my master set to have all these little strands that would be hanging with my master set. So I decided to put all my little stragglers when I'm done onto a ring on its own. So you can see this is all just little bits and pieces of thread. It is not, well, there's a couple in here that shouldn't be in here, but I'll fix them. I keep just the little stragglers on here. I have one that is starts from number 1 all the way to the 600 series. And then I have the second one from the 700 series going forward. So this is the first place I go when I'm kitting a project because I want to take these off these rings if the colors are here. And that's the first place I go, is to take those little stragglers and use them. Now I don't save every little dinky thread when I'm finished with the project. I will go through and pull off anything that I feel like I don't want to stitch with. It's not enough to, I don't want to do 2 or 3 stitches or even 5 stitches with a piece of thread. If it's not a good size length for me, and a good size length is probably that it hangs about 6 or 7 inches, then it goes in the trash. I don't bother with it. It's not worth it. And you know, the funny part is when I started stitching, DMC was, you could get them 10 for a buck, 10 for $1, 10 cents a piece. And now we're paying 55, 65, and that's in the US. I know overseas you guys are paying a whole lot more, and you don't want to waste any of the thread. But even at 65, 75 cents a skein, it's not that important to me. Even though I am a frugal person, and I not only want to be a frugal person with this, but I'm required to be because I am on disability right now. So I can't afford to keep buying floss, and that's what I used to do. I used to constantly, if I kit up something, I buy all new floss. I kit up something, I buy all new floss. Didn't matter if I had it on the wall. I, for some reason, felt like I needed to have a whole skein of each color every time I kitted up a project. Whether it was a small project, large project, I wanted brand new floss. And that's crazy now. With the pricing the way it is, you can't do it. So that's one of the other reasons why I decided to have a master set on my wall, because if I'm pulling colors, I pull it off the wall unless it is extremely large project that requires a lot, you know, not a lot of floss, but a full skein of floss. I will go through and look at whatever I'm kitting up, and if it's something that has like, it's got a lot of black in it, I'll just get a skein of black and then pull from my wall. But if it's just mixed colors, I will pull from my master list what I think I need. And if I run out and I need more, I can just go back to the wall and pull more. But it is, I just can't afford to buy a full skein every time I want to kit something up. So it works out really well. And this is how I separate it so I know what's what as I'm stitching. So as you can see, I have here, white's probably not the best color to pick. Let's see. Maybe the brown would help a little. Hold on, let me see if I have one that's Okay, so the blue will work. Okay, so here's my blue. And as you can see, I have several, I have my little bulk. This is my part that I pulled off. I'll go on this side because you guys are on this side. And then once I need and I run out of this is my stuff that I pull from first. I pull an entire 6 out of this. I do not pull just one little strand. I don't do that because then one of these strands inside of this, I hope this makes sense. One of the strands inside of this, if I do that, will not be 6 strands. It'll be 5, 4, 3. And I like to know that this is full and can go back to my master set. These here are what I've been working on. So if I separate these because they're hanging here, one is just a set of 2 threads from that's from the 6 thread set. And this is my little leftover piece. So I'll continue working these until they're gone. And then I will pull an entire 6 from it and pull that out, attach it on, and then pull 1 thread out of it. That way, when I am done with my threads and I have to put them away, I know that I can pull off this whole thing. I can grab this whole one and this can go back to my master wall. I don't have to check it to make sure that it's all 6 strand. I don't have to worry about it. It is 6 strand. These will go to my little sets. And these are all numerical in here. So I have them all numerical. And as I need to, so if I had to pull these and put them in my little, what I call wasty threads, then I would find the tag. If I have a tag for this color, I would just add it to that tag. If I didn't, I just had this whole tag in there. So that way I'm able to keep track of my threads. And then as soon as I'm kitting something up, this is the first place I go, is these 2. Do I have that color and leftover threads that I can use first before I go to my master set? So I will pull what I need from here. And then if I need more than what's here, then I will go to my master set and pull 2 or 3 lengths of DMC in that color and add it to my drop. So, and that's how I work this. Now, this is not organized right now. I had multiple threads that I had to re-put back into my master set and into this. And some of them did not get separated properly. So I'm going to be going through this today and fixing it. So this will not be this bulky once I put some of these, like this one here has full skeins right there. I just need to put the full lengths back to my master set. And it'll even this, there's several of them like that. There's another one, it's got a lot of thread. A lot of that is full lengths. I hope that makes sense. It just makes it easier for me. I'm not in any way, shape, or form saying this is easy for anyone. Everyone has their own way of doing their floss. I thought I would just share mine, how I keep it separate, how I figure out what's what, and keeping my master set an actual master set. And it's not easy when you have multiple kits, and I don't have as multiple, some of you, but I have 30 kits, and then like this past week I finished 4 projects. So I had 4 different sets I had to put away, and and it takes some time to put them all away. I'm not gonna lie. Do not wait until you have 4, 5, 6 bundles of floss sitting around waiting to be put away. Put them away right when you finish your project. And I've learned that lesson, that I just need to put them away when I finish the project, before I finish my next project. It needs to be put away and make it easier for me. And it certainly will cut down on the workload of putting it all away. But I like it this way. I like the wall that it's there. It's real pretty in my room. And I can see what I have and don't have, and I can actually go through the rings and see what colors I'm missing, and then I have a bin that has extras in it that I can refill my wall, or I can make a list of what I need to buy to refill my wall when I need to do that. Is there times when I don't have the floss I need? Sure, happens to everybody. It doesn't matter what kind of system you have. There are times when you don't have the floss you need and you're going to have to go buy it. But I try to keep that to a minimum. And then, of course, there are times when you, like this is the holiday weekend, right? This is Labor Day weekend. And you know Joann's is going to have a sale if you're in the U.S. Don't know what kind of sale they're going to have. Sometimes it's only 50 cents. instead of the 65 or whatever they charge. And if that's the case, I don't worry about running all the way to Joann's, which is like an hour and a half from me, because Hobby Lobby has it for 55 cents all the time. So it's not that big of a deal. Now, if they do 3 for $1, I might take myself and tell my husband, hey, let's go into Lexington so I can do a little shopping, and then I can pick up the threads I need. But otherwise, I don't do that. And I know also Michael's will do a 40% off, coupon for everything that's not on sale or whatever. That's a great time to make my list and drive over to London, Kentucky, which is closer than Lexington, and I can do that as well. I can pick it up there. And if it's 40% off, then it's a deal enough for me to go and do that trip. That's about all that I have about my thread. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below. I'm glad to answer any of the questions you have. Again, if you're interested in thread drops, if you want to make your own thread drops, there is a video. I will post that link below, along with other videos like how to dye your own fabric, how to soften Aida, how to, oh, my mind's going blank, but there's lots of videos down there. Make sure you check those out to do different things that you can do to save money. And I will see you next time. Bye.